Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whichever time of day you're viewing this. Welcome to today's episode of Raw Podcast. I'm your host, Rahsaan Corbin II. We're going on strong, 3 seasons strong, and we got someone from the powerhouse region, Region 3 of Nesby, in the house, Aliza Hutley. What's up with you?
Nothing much, but I'm just proud to be here. Glad to be here.
Proud to be here. You just wrapped up the semester. How you feeling?
Relieved, child. Oof. Lord, the semester whoop you behind, but I made it through. I survived.
Man, that's what it's all about. And then, you got to survive next year, and then however long you still decide to stay in school. Anyway, anyway, we got a few. Hey, it's all about learning and growing, continuous improvement, continuous development, But anyway, to get warmed up, I know we talked a little bit before, but it's just so the viewer gets warmed up to get to know you a little better personally. So we got a few icebreaker questions. This is school edition, by the way, college student edition. So, would you rather have an 8 a.m. class every day or an 8 p.m. class every day?
Ooh, dang. I did have 8 a.m.s my junior year, and I missed like the first 30 to 45 minutes. Not gonna hold you. So I might just need the 8 p.m. I'm gonna have to chalk it up. We're gonna have that nightlife classes. Let's do it.
Okay. Didn't expect that answer. But yeah, night classes aren't too bad. I didn't have an 8 p.m. class, but like it was still dark out when I had class. Anyway, that was my first year of college. I was taking a Calc 1. Would you rather never be able to eat desserts again or never be able to sleep again?
I mean, as an engineer, we already not sleeping. So I might as well go ahead and just, take that L because I love me some pound cake. Some chocolate fudge brownies. I'm not going without stuff like that. I'm sorry. Like, we'll take that sleepless nights. Already doing that, bruh. And look at me, healthy.
Uh, okay. Would you rather never have a smartphone again or never have a laptop again?
So there's things I can do on my laptop that I can't do on my smartphone. And like I was raised to like my parents gave me my first phone when I graduated high school. So I can live without a phone. A laptop, I feel like it's just more accessible. It's like you can use it for many applications. So I'm gonna take the laptop. I want the laptop. The phone
Okay.
ain't necessary.
Okay. Would you rather get a degree in what you love or get a degree in something that will make you money?
Well, what do you think I'm doing? I'm a chemical engineer.
All right, all right. It's neither here
Money.
or there. There we go. Anyway. Well, I hope you like what you're doing, but that's anyway. Would you
You learn to
rather
love you learn to love it.
I bet you do once you get to that third or fourth year. Yeah, you definitely learn to love it.
No shots fired. Too much. You didn't even have to do
No, okay. Would you rather always feel hungry or always feel thirsty, no matter how much you ate or drank?
Mm. To eat, So I don't want to feel hungry because if I'm hungry, I'm snappy. You don't want to see me when
Mm,
I'm hungry. So I take I always feel thirsty and instead of hungry. Like, nah, I gotta eat. Yeah, nah, that ain't
okay.
gonna work. Hmm.
All right, we're gonna do two more questions. Would you rather live very far away from the main campus in the nicest dorm of all time, or super close in a terrible dorm?
Well,
Like we're talking rundown, community bathroom. Like no shade to community bathroom dorms, but like no community bathroom. You got a roommate. You're on the fifth floor. All that stuff. We'll all that description with terrible dorm. However you want to picture it.
fun fact, I never lived in a dorm before. Ever
Mm,
since I came to campus, I always lived off because it's inexpensive. And I'd rather walk, that little 20-minute walk or drive as far as I got to live somewhere decent, nice, and affordable. So I'm gonna take, living far off in that nice dorm rather than living very close. Cause like, who gonna deal with roaches and rats? I heard very horrible. I don't want none of that. I'm a clean lady. I gotta be clean. You feel me? Like, yeah, I'm gonna take far off. I'll take it for 100. Thank you.
okay. It's kind of same thing with on campus, but would you rather never be able to find a table in the library or never be able to find a table in the dining hall or just like, the student union area?
Oh, see, I'm from FSU, so you don't need a table at the dining hall. You might as well just go ahead and cook your own food. So I'm gonna take a take a. I'd rather not have a table at the dining hall because the library, that's the battlegrounds. You need a table at a library. You can't live without a table. Like, nah. I'm gonna take yes, that dining hall. They can't even get fried chicken, right? Y'all know. Or plantains. Plantains. No, thank you. They can't get rice. They no. Oh, let me stop. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I'll take the dining hall. Like, yeah.
Shots fired. No, 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 no,
Yeah, I
no,
know
no, no.
that's
Anyway.
good. Dining hall, no thank you. No thank you.
Anyway, thank you for just being the icebreaker. Got us all warmed up, ready for the interview. So, before we dive deep, we already said your name, but like, where you from, classification, where what school you attend, Florida State University, and what you're studying. But can you give an overview about, yourself?
A brief overview about myself. I am Aliza Hutley. I'm from Quincy, Florida. I was raised by my grandmother with my lovely siblings. I'm currently I'm a rising senior at the College of Engineering, and I'm pursuing a bachelor's degree in chemical engineering. Uh, Blood, sweat, and tears, but I'm gonna get that degree. Um, and yeah, that's a little brief background about me. And the fun fact is, I have a twin sister. Shout out to my twin, Aaliyah
I
Hutley.
was just about to say that. So, who's the older twin?
By like a 1 minute, 60 seconds, Aaliyah got me. Her name spelled Aliya. Mine's Aliza. So my parents thought it was funny. They said Y comes before Z. So they
No, that's funny. That's funny. Anyway, sorry if I brought back any, like, hate towards your sister, being born first or whatever, Y before Z. Anyway, that's a nice fun fact. Are you guys both the same major?
No, my sister is a mechanical engineer. We both at the same school though, but we decided to go in different engineering routes. So
Okay.
yeah.
And then what's your on-campus involvement?
My on-campus involvement, currently it consists of I'm part of Nobuche. I am the secretary for the year of 2024 to 2025. I was the outreach coordinator for the year of 2023 to 2024. And so Nobuche is the national organization of Black chemists and chemical engineers. So yeah, that organization is really top tier. I'm working on the foundation on that. So one of my tasks was to recruit more undergraduate Black chemical engineers. It started off with 3 when I entered. Now we have there's a total of 27 Black chemical engineers in my department, and I found each and every one of them. Shout
Okay,
out to them. Y'all
go
got my
ahead.
um and now currently in NESB, I'm an active member of National Society of Black Engineers. Love that organization down bad. I'm also a member of AKI, American Institute of Chemical Engineers. I'm a member of these 2 organizations are on FSU campus. It's called the CARE First Generation Program. Through CARE, I'm part of the SSSTEM branch where minorities, they work on increasing the minorities within STEM and first generation students. So if your parents didn't go to college. And I'm also part of the Unconquered program. So that's a program for like students that were raised alternatively, like in foster care, relative care, experience hardships. So those are my on-campus involvements.
Pouring live and direct from Quincy, Florida.
Yes,
I
sir.
noticed that every time someone was from Florida, they'll be like, "I'm from Florida." They wouldn't say Florida. They would say Florida.
I mean, and they the same Florida, like come
They say they say Florida. I'm like Florida. No, 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 Florida.
you do to me. What are you doing?
Anyway. Thank you for that good introduction. You seem like a very well-rounded person. Now we're going to dive into a few topics here. First thing we got is, the Black experience from the Florida State student perspective at the FAMU FSU College of Engineering. which I'm also a product of, in case you didn't know. Anyway, class 24 in the building. And then we're going to talk about, pitch showcase you recently did at the NSBE convention and you won. We're going to talk about more of that later on. I think that was a really good accomplishment. So yeah, we're going to dive into more of that. And I have another one here says your research, but that kind of ties into the pitch showcase. So we'll talk about it more then. So first things first, like before we dive into like real in-depth perspective, like why did you choose Florida State?
So I'm gonna give you guys a little taste of my experience. So it starts with a transition from high school to college. So my parents had a dream for us to be like, Valen Sal of our high school and to later on go to FAMU, uh, the College of Engineering. So my grandmother is an alumni, and my aunties are alumni at FAMU. So when it came to choices of college, me and my sister had big dreams. We wanted to do MIT, right? But we had graduated in high school in 3 years instead of four. So we were 17. And if you're 17 going to college, you kind of need consent forms to like live on campus and whatnot. So what I'm going to tell you is that they say you got two options. You got FAMU or FSU. And so we chose FAMU initially, like we enrolled and everything. However, FAMU has a scholarship that's for valedictorians and salutatorians. And what happened was due to like a deadlines and COVID, the scholarship wasn't like it didn't come through. Like the financial aid didn't come through for us. And so we uh we asked for help. We went through the LLC engineering LLC program, and they was like, sorry, just it was a unique situation during COVID. So me and my sister had to make like an executive decision, like, we're coming from a low income community and our parents don't have the financial support to put us through college. We have all of our funding comes from merit based scholarships, so bright futures. And so we was like, we was like, we don't have enough money just because we only had 75%. We didn't have 100%. So we still had to pay for 25% of our tuition and the cost of living. So we kind of had to make that decision to switch over from FAMU to FSU because FSU offered us uh for a stipend for being first generation students. So the care program. And essentially, the financial aid packages at FSU was also a lot more steep to help us carry us our 4+ years in college. So we chose FAMU because that was our home. That was like FAMU pours into the local communities, so Leon County, Gaston County, Jefferson County, and so they did pour into us. They provided. We was in the FAMU Trail Talent Search program, so they provided a lot of initiatives to make sure that we got in college. So we shout out to our home HBCU, but the switch over went from FAMU to FSU just due to like our financial circumstances. We knew we would be fully funded and wouldn't have to touch no student loans, and was more financially secured at FSU. So FSU became my choice based off our financial circumstances. And a unique situation about our household is that my grandmother that raised me, she's an alumni from both schools. So she went to FSU as an undergrad and FAMU as a grad student. And so like we was gonna be supported either way we go. And the beautiful thing about um our two schools was that they are joint together in the College of Engineering, meaning that we're still gonna be connected to FAM at COE. Like we'll still have the access to FAMU professors and the FAMU students. We'll just be on a different side of the school. So it was one of those things like you're not we weren't gonna miss out on too much, regardless of your choice. You're still gonna be at the College of Engineering, you know. So yeah, that
Gotcha.
was our choice at FSU.
Gotcha. You can't go wrong with the merit-based option or money option, I should say. Follow the money because
Follow the money.
loans are not the best for people. Well, I say in a long term, loans aren't the best because you have to continue paying that off while possibly working a full-time job, paying other bills. So that's really great, and congratulations to you and your sister for getting the opportunity to get that get no money paid for, or get everything paid for. There we go. You don't have to pay anything out of pocket. So first things first, like What has your experience been like as a black student on a predominantly white institution campus, particularly within the engineering school? Because it's a weird, not weird, it's a hybrid combination of both.
I would say I have to talk about my initial experience at FSU campus, so it ties into what I'm about to tell you about the uniqueness of our joint campus.
Mm,
Well, for those of us that don't know, we have three different campuses, right? We got FSU campus, main campus. We have FAMU's main campus, and then we got the College of Engineering that's between the two campuses, right? Because I went through the FSU side, I had to take my prerequisites for engineering at FSU main campus. Well, first of all, I came in through COVID, so it was really online and at home at first. So I didn't step foot on FSU main campus until 2021, right? The spring of 2021. And when I started taking classes over there, if you guys haven't, known or could tell, is that I'm very bubbly, I'm very talkative, and I like to get to know people. Like I introduce myself. I'll say, "Hey, how are you? My name's," and I introduce myself. And the culture there at the time was that everybody was very. I'm in these calculus 3 class or physics classes, and like the culture over at my main campus was like not too much collaboration, not too much communication. People don't speak and wave back or men don't open doors, for the ladies, unfortunately. And so I'm like, wow. So this is what it's like to be on a college campus as a college student. And I remember turning in my homework one day for class, and this young man beside me, he like repelled away from me when I was submitting my homework. So I would say, how does that tie into my experience at the College of Engineering? Well, when I was at the FSU main campus, I just, adopted that, like, in those environmental responses. I stopped introducing myself. I stopped speaking, unless I was spoken to. I just wasn't bubbly and all like, talkative no more. I wasn't outspoken anymore. I just kept to myself and put my head down and just, pass my classes or like do my work. And so when I came to COE campus, and I started in now COE campus, that's the mixture. That's where you got half FAMU and half FSU, theoretically speaking. And so I got to those classes. I'm in what's it called? Process analysis design. This is a sophomore class at COE. And I walked past a group of black girls, basically, right? And they snickering and laughing. They was like, "Oh, you can't speak?" I was like, "You talking to me?" She was like, "Yeah, you act like you can't speak to nobody." I was like, "You talking to me?" Like that girl later, her name Jada, she'll later become my best friend, like one of my closest friends, because like she's right. Whenever you walk into a room, you do speak to people, you do introduce yourself, you do have that southern hospitality. We're in Florida for God's sake. And so like just like shifting from main campus to COE campus, I would say my experience as a black student was that I'm at a PWI, and it's a cultural difference coming from Quincy, Florida. Quincy is predominantly black and Hispanic, and so coming to a predominantly white institution, you have to learn how to navigate, communication and the cultural barriers and etc. But when I got to COE campus, some of that was mitigated by the presence of my black classmates or minority classmates. Like they reminded me it's okay to be outspoken, that it's okay to like retain your cultural identity because you shouldn't have to lose those aspects of yourself. You shouldn't have to conform to your environment, adapt, but not conform, meaning like learn how to speak to different groups of people, learn how to work with different groups of people. And so, as a Black student, I would say, like, from the FSU side of things, like, my biggest learning experience was like adapt, but don't conform.
okay, I like the story. Storytelling's always good. You can be like, well, this happened, then this happened. Then that's my experience with black student perspective. Two sentences, just keep it short. But I like the story. You went in depth with it, and you tied in the when you're on FSU, and how you kind of lost the southern, not lost, but the southern hospitality feeling. Then you get to engineering school, you walk past people, they're like, "You're not going to speak," and that's kind of funny. Origin story how you became friends with that person. That's actually pretty funny. I like that. Sounds like an anime story. Like, oh, you know we become best friends? No, I didn't know. Now we're best friends. No.
Like,
Anyway, how have you navigated the unique dynamic, the unique combination, I should say, of being a part of the joint engineering school, coming from FSU?
so I kind of touched on it earlier. But how exactly did I do it? I would say, um, I really just had to. I think it's more of like a mental thing. Like coming from FSU, I ended up developing imposter syndrome. Like it sounds like a sickness, but it's like essentially I felt like I wasn't meant to be here. I wasn't good enough to be here. Like I was like I'm the bottom of the barrel around these students, and it really like had that really like it can hurt your confidence, right? And so if being at COE is unique because you know you're shifting from one community to another. Like I feel like the FAMU FSU College of Engineering, that community is quite different from FAMU, quite different from FSU. It's its own little community. Like we're all engineers, one or yeah, we're all engineers or like part of the STEM major. And like the biggest thing to do is like when it comes to navigating, it's just like I said, you have to learn. It's like navigating two different groups of people, three, four different groups of people, and like recognizing that we all have this one common goal, like finding something that you're in common with, and that is earning your degree in engineering, like by any means. And when I say by any means, I mean that means you're gonna have to break down some cultural barriers. You're gonna have to get over that shyness, any barriers that are in your way. That means you're gonna have to break through them and come together for that common goal. We want this degree. We want this degree. And so that's what engineering is about, right? Like you can't do engineering by yourself. That was something I did not know. Everybody say teamwork, teamwork this and teamwork that. That's good for collaboration. I'm like, nah, I'm independent. I do everything by myself. I get to, like I always been like very hyper independent. And so at the COE, like being at COE, you really had to learn how to not be so independent, but learn how to tap into your environment and your communities, even if they didn't look like you. And I didn't like that because I'm like, they won't speak to me, I won't speak to them. Like, why I gotta go out my way to make myself more amenable or like, less scary or whatnot. And so, yeah, like I had did that. I had to learn how to navigate being on COE's campus through like I had to join organizations, not gonna lie. I couldn't me not being part of that social atmosphere of my school was hurting me and I didn't realize it. I thought school was purely for academics, college, because that's how I did it in high school and middle school, K through 12. I was academically sound. That's all I needed. So I'm saying college shouldn't be no different. I'm academically sound. No, 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 Lisa, you gotta learn how to speak to the person sitting next to you, And I was like, okay, I can't speak to them, but like, what good would it do me? It do you a lot of good. It do you a lot of good because thanks to Leilanis, her name's we call her Layla for short. She taught me the missing holes in my homework. When I was doing my homework, she saw me struggling. She was like, Aliza, you're overcomplicating it. It's this simple. Thanks to my classmates like that didn't look like me, they taught me that you're underprepared. I was like, what do you mean by that? You need this type of calculator to complete these integrals. I said, I'm doing it by hand. That's why you're taking too long. You're trying to do everything by hand. You need a calculator. It do it in 2 seconds. I'm like, I'm messing around with my little high school calculator. Man, they got these things called TI Inspire, CAS,
Yeah.
X. I'm like, oh Lord, how much it cost a pretty penny? But it was one of the best investments. And I got it because of my classmates that they finally warmed up to me in my third year and they finally put me on game. They was like, Lisa, You way behind. That's why I'm the last one to finish them quizzes and exams because I'm not using the resources that I should have known about. But mind you, I'm a first gen student. So like I'm gonna be the first in my family, my immediate family, to complete an engineering degree. So it's like there's some things I came in not knowing, and I would have still not known it had I not learned how to like speak to people and like just sociably, like learn to be more sociable in my environment as an engineer at CLE.
Okay. Yeah, community is always important. Takes a village, as always. Whether that's family, friends, community members, classmates,
Yeah.
peers, professors, all the above. But yeah, you can never know where you get help from, especially if you join social organizations. 'Cause I remember I was on e-board with, I can name drop him. His name's Shamar. He graduated from Florida State as well. We're both in the same major, and we both ended up being on the e-board for NESB. He was membership chair, I was family recruitment chair, and we're like, "Oh, we're in the same major. What class are you taking?" He said, "Intro to EE." I'm like, "No way, I'm taking the same class." We found out we're in the same lecture, but it's like 40 people in the class, so I'm like, "You only see so many people." And we ended up becoming friends. We're still friends to this day. You know what I'm saying? He helped me, I helped him. And yeah, it was an even exchange, but that's always good to have. And you eventually, got warmed up to the people around you within your classes, both that looked like you and not like you. The next question, you don't have to answer it if you don't want to. I don't know if it's like a touchy subject for some people, but from the Florida State perspective, being around FAMU students, have you ever had a point where you had to like quote unquote prove your blackness, like that you can fit in with them, whether in a social setting and like what I'm saying? Like, have you ever had that? Because I've heard it from some of my Florida State friends. They felt like they didn't feel as comfortable being around FAMU because they always got pushed away, saying like, "Oh, you went to the PWI, you don't belong around here," you know. But like, have you ever felt like that?
So I can say personally, I know it was there. I knew it was there, but I never felt it only because I stood firm on my ground. I used to wear I still do FAMU, like the
Yeah,
Nelia,
paraphernalia. Yeah.
yeah, and the FAMU. I got one, so I got FSU in right now, but I got a FAMU one too. You know why? Because FAMU at any HBCU should not just be a college. It should be a community. It should be a family. It is a historical pillar in the Black community. And what does that mean? That means that you have to recognize that these colleges were the only colleges that will allow us to educate ourselves, further our knowledge and advancement as a Black individual. So, regardless of what institution you chose, you should I feel like every Black student should have a local or home HBCU. You know, if you ever look at the FAMU what you call it, homecoming or like game days, half them folks never been to FAMU. Half them folks
Mm-hmm.
probably never been to college. And I know this because I know these people. They're from Clinton, Florida. They from Miami. They from Orlando. They're from the surrounding environments. But why they showing support to FAMU? Like, you ain't been to college, why you care? Because FAMU is a family. It is a community. It is much more than just a college. And so I wear my paraphernalia. I wear my support because even though that is not the school I'll be graduating from, is the school that supported me, poured into my community, and I'm going to pour back into it. So I ain't never had a question about whether or not I'm Black enough because I'm like, baby, my family are alumni. I've been on campus. I've been on that campus way before some of them students themselves, and like I just feel like my Blackness is not a question of what campus I came from. My Blackness is not associated to the the institution of my choice. It is associated by my character and by my actions, you know? And so, yeah, it's there. They snicker. They be like, you one of those, you at the FSU, you, et cetera. This. I say, I sure did. What about it? And then, there's this one person that I was in the room at school. There's like, I could tell that girl went to FSU. And I was like, what girl? And they was describing the girl. I said, no, she from FAMU. So like, what I'm saying to you is that we're trying to associate stereotypes with people that go to different institutions. But that's for the people that don't know no betters. I call them the no betters because you don't know no better. Like you just It's different type of folk on both sides of the school, but differences aside, we all black at the end of the day.
Mhm.
All gonna get that degree at the end of the day. We all got somewhere to be in this world and in this place, and it's just a privilege to just get college education. It's a privilege to just be where you at and make strides in your family, in your community, or in your environment. So like, nah, I ain't never had to prove nothing to nobody, and and I won't ever have to do that because I wake up every morning and look in that mirror. I say, "Girl, you look good. You a black woman in STEM, girl. You already a boss." And there are times where I forget that. Man, I got a community behind me. They gonna remind me every time. Don't you know who you are? Yeah, no, don't you know I'm the daughter of the Most High, and you can't tell me what who and what I am. So, yeah.
That's going to be my next question. Your support system, especially being a first generation student and going to school with your sister, what that support system look like? Did you guys like feed off each other when it came to people you know? Or was it strictly like, hey, this is my friend, those are your friends, we can't like, collaborate and stuff? Like how'd you navigate that part of like community building?
So interesting enough, me and my sister, I'll give you a little backstory. When we came into school, we had experienced some like at home drama that left us very independent and by ourselves, right? So for our freshman, sophomore year, and part of our junior year, we're in survival mode, right? My sister and me, we had to utilize a homeless waiver from FSU to secure our freshman housing, like our housing over at FSU. And because I was in survival mode, I didn't rely on nobody but myself. No community. I did have a partner at the time. He was very helpful, but like essentially I didn't allow people around me. I was like, I gotta get this job at Target, work 40 hours a week during the summer while taking two classes so I can buy a car and that we can keep, we can pay rent. So what I'm getting at is that I didn't rely on community my freshman year because of what happened in my personal life that led me and my sister by ourselves, right? For just the freshman year. And I continued this mindset like nobody got us but us up until sophomore year. I finally shifted that mindset. It took a minute to like look around me and see that I'm being pig-headed. I'm being stubborn. There is a community out there that could help that we can tap into. But I think I was so stuck in survival mode. I was too scared to rely on other people. And so Leah had secretly did it through MSC. It's organization at FAMU. It's like a social org. She had found people for her that like helped her through our hard times and whatnot. And I was low key like hating. I was like, they ain't got you like I got you. Like they can't do what I can do. Like I didn't believe in social organizations. I said college is academics only. And so I was pig-headed. I had to really change my mindset my junior year. I feel like my sophomore to junior year, I had people that was not blood related to me that was pouring into me, right? They were helping me find my first car. They were helping me navigate credit scores. I didn't know nothing about no credit card coming in. And so Leah, her MSC community, they helped her laugh through hard times. They helped her keep her head on her shoulders and navigate college, have fun. And I'm not like I was not on that fun stuff. I was like, it's this the real world. We gotta have our own. But that was her community, and slowly started to get ready. I slowly started appreciating them because my sister is everything to me. I love to see her happy. And I know that our personal life situation was not something to be happy about, right? But like they made her smile through that. And that's when I realized, man, I probably need to lock in with a community too. But I was still, I still had cold feet. And I finally shifted to locking in with the Nesby community, with my social organizations, and I started smiling and like getting through college in a better state of mind mentally. Because one thing no one talks about is that if you're not there mentally, you're probably not there at all. Like you're just a robot moving, and you're not really as efficient as you think you are. Where you're just your head down and you just one soul on one track minded. And so yeah, she had her separate community for a time, but even the MSC community, like she's a member of them. They even loved on me. Like that's like bring your sister around. Yeah, like we want to see her. Like how you doing? They cared about me. I was like, I don't know why I ain't do nothing for you, but they were part of that social community, that aspect that you need as a college student. Families, my sister, I'll even give you another example. My sister locked in with her PI. Her PI was Dr. Moore, right? Um, she
Wait,
does
which?
research.
Okay, so you're talking about other doctor. I was going to ask which Doctor Moore.
Oh, the mission is the
Yeah, I was going to ask which Doctor Moore. Okay, but yeah, go ahead.
she locked in with him, does research under him, and I met his son. Dr. Moore has a son, Carl Anthony III, through what's it called, FAMU FSU REU program. I was doing research, so here too again, I'm working. I'm a working dog. I don't care about nothing but work. I met the son, and then I did a crossover. I met the father, and I already knew the mother because she was one of the first year engineering lab teachers. These people would later become very pivotal in me and my sister's lives, like not just academically but spiritually. Like they have a profound effect on my sister and a profound effect on me as well because they showed us that they cared beyond the student. And there's not many people like that at the College of Engineering, in my opinion. Um, and so without even realizing it, I was building a community like, and I don't even just say it was me. I think it's like because I'm a Christian, y'all. I have to give it to God because like he know I'm pig headed. He know I'm hyper independent. But he put me in a position where people were able to help me, and I could finally, as a senior, like I'm going into a fifth year, I can finally see it now, and I have to say I'm just grateful because I would have never like done it on my own. I just happened to be in a position where I needed help, um, like as a young lady navigating engineering, as a young Black lady in this field, and my sister, like whoever helps my sister, you a friend to me because that's my twin, like that's my other half. So like through my sister, through my own trials and tribulations, that community just started building out of nowhere, and I'm just very grateful for it.
That's amazing. It's very powerful, and I'm thinking it's adding more. I'm getting more value out of this than I was anticipating. I love it. So just love the storytelling. So now switching over. Now you talked about you and your sister like feeding off each other's community. But was there any other or were there any other pivotal moments at the engineering school that made you feel empowered, like as a black student or as an engineer? Like, were there any other moments you felt like really empowered?
I sure did. I'm glad you reiterated that question because I'm missing one and very important person. Her name is Dr. Arnett. She is a CBE professor, so chemical and biomedical engineering professor, but she teaches at FAMU in the chemistry department, right? She was the only person that gave me a chance. And when I'm a give you a little backstory. Freshman year, sophomore year, I tried to get into a research lab and I kept getting a whole lot of no's. No, this is too full. No, that, you're an engineer. Why would you want to be in this lab? Like, I don't think this is the place for you. No, 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 no. And like at some point, I was like, golly, why is this so hard? This is research. People gotta get paid. Like, child, just I'm trying to get that experience because I want to go to grad school. And so I finally got accepted to FAMU FSU REU program, and they matched me with Dr. Arnett. And the unique thing about her is that she has her own laboratory. It's called CPAST, CEPAST, and it's none but she had like one FSU student in there that's in the chemical engineering program, but the rest of them was all FAMU students. So I was gonna be like the second FSU student in there. And when I meeting her was like a breath of fresh air because she took the time to not only know me as a student, but know me as an individual person. And I felt seen. I felt, oh, this woman here, she actually cares. Like I'm Aliza, not Eliza. That's my name at COE for the longest. Everyone called me Eliza, and no one.
Eliza.
And first of all, they wouldn't say my name until my third year. So like,
um,
child, it was hard, but like she learned my name, she learned my background, she worked with my interest. She's a polymer chemist professor, but I told her she works with like polymers, like her lab is polymer based. She does like environmental research projects with polymers and different applications. So what I'm getting at, she don't do medical applications. But when I went to her and I told her about my passion for diabetes and how I want to help that community, she was like, okay, we can make this work. She listened to me. She navigated me. She mentored me. And even after I stopped working in her lab because of like my own financial situation, I had to work for a different lab in a different job. I had to get two other jobs because money just ran out for me at this particular lab. She still checks in on me. She still asks about my academic progress. I was about to switch out of my major, child. I was getting tired of chemical engineering. They were whooping my behind. She was like, Aliza, what's one more year? I said, I want my degree now. She was like, where you got it? Even my grandmother, she echoed my grandmother. She was like, where you gotta be? You gonna get this degree. It's on and like she knew I was struggling academically with like this one class. She was like, sit down. Cause she's a professor, right? So she has that professor mindset. I'm a student. She was like, you need to crack open that book before class. You need to read this, practice this, and when you get to class, you need to ask your teacher questions. I'm like, I'm not doing all that's too much work, child. Like, why I gotta do all that? She's like, you're a STEM student, you're a black woman, you're a double minority. You need to use your resources to the best of your ability. You have to. She was just mentoring me, and that was like one of the only like mentors that I got that was just honest, brutally honest, guiding me through, keeping my head on my shoulders, and just looking out for me. Like I have to say, like through her at the end of my research term with her in the summer, because I worked with her in the summer. I got my confidence back. I said, "Oh yeah, I belong here again." You know what? I can do this because at some point I lost it. I was like, I can't do this without that. I'm not cut out for this. She's like, no, you are. It's just very difficult, but you're gonna get through it because now you're not alone no more. So she was actually my community. Aaliyah had MSc, and she had her PI. She had found her that PI that she locked in with. I found my PI, and I found my community in that laboratory through all of my colleagues. Like we child, she cooked us Haitian, not Haitian, but Caribbean food for the end of our end of the summer celebration. What are you doing that? Who getting in that kitchen feeding? My God, Lord, like I love Dr. Annette. That was a pivotal moment for me as a undergraduate chemical engineer. Like I finally found that community for me. So like, yeah.
I think that research portion goes into our next topic. So I think this is a perfect transition, pivotal moment. So, like I said in the beginning, you not only joined Nesby, but you're participating in the national pitch competition this year, which is their second time having it. And not only did you participate in it, you walked away with not one, but two awards. So, what was the leap of faith like? Like, what was the motivation? What inspired you to be just sign up for the competition? Because I know you compete at the regional level, and then you qualify for national level. Like, what was the motivation?
So at the motivation can like I will tell you like my motivation for it, right? I know I've always been a public speaker. I've started competing for public speaking since I was in sixth grade. That's when I officially started. Uh so I already know I got that skill, but why did I decide to participate in the Nesby pitch per se? I really wanted to highlight the black woman that poured into me so that she could see that I'm pouring, like I wanted to represent her. essentially, right? What's going on with that, what I'm saying is that I feel like she doesn't get enough, accolades. I feel like, she's not
Who's
appreciated.
that person you're talking about?
Oh, Dr. Arnett, my
There we
bad. Dr.
go. Yeah,
Arnett.
I'm making sure we put in context on stuff. But yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
I feel like she hidden. She a hidden gem. And don't get me wrong, I like to gatekeep things that benefit me, but like, nah, this woman right here, like she exceptional and amazing. I feel like she need her flowers today and not tomorrow. And so one of the ways you can help your PIs or your supervisors is if you showcase your research. Like it helps you to like resume wise and etc. But their PIs have to submit like an end of the year report for their what happens in their laboratories and stuff like that. And one of those is like, oh, your students presented at conferences, your students did this and your students did that. And so my motivation was representing her was one part. Like part one was like this woman deserves her flowers for everything she's done for me. Part two was that I honestly didn't anticipate winning, not gonna lie. I wanted to bring to light some issues within like the medical community. Um I really feel passionate about diabetes because my grandmother is a diabetic, and I wanted to like I feel like there wasn't enough research or like very a lot of like treatment plans for diabetics that will focus on curing the problem or like problem solving at the grain. And so I wanted to use I was using the regional pitch as like a stepping stone to like introducing this new innovative topic in research, right? Let's 3D print organs instead of relying on the organ transplant list that takes forever to get. Or so I wanted to like use my gift, which is like just public speaking, that skill, to like break new information to my community, like, hey, this is what we're doing today, and like it's going to take some time, right? But I feel like these are things that are not often talked about as a chemical engineer. I just in engineering, it's new. So of course it's not talked about yet. So let's talk about it. We're doing things with 3D printing. Like this is something I feel passionate about. That motivates. So my motivation is two parts, two folds. One, I'm representing Black talent, Black excellence, and two, I'm also introducing groundbreaking research into my field. A chemical engineer is doing these type of things, working with doctors, working with BMEs, and we're trying to improve the quality of life. That's one of my personal goals, to improve the quality of life. So like that was my motivation.
That's what's up. I don't think you put context on it. How long you been doing this research?
I started this research in summer of 2023.
Okay.
I did put it on pause in the summer of 2024 because I had another opportunity, and I had funding. When you're doing research like this, you need some money, and so I should be resuming it for my senior. So I'll be starting my senior year officially in the fall, and hopefully, the goal is to do it as a research paper, to publish a paper with it, right? And submit it for my senior credits. But if I can't do it as a senior credit, now I'm gonna just continue doing it on my own spare time, because I want to pick it up again. Because I got new like information to bring, like new ideas to bring to the table now. So yeah.
That's what's up. And then leading up to the presentation, I vividly remember not just because I was with you when you were practicing your pitch, but your first sentences. It was like a cow goes moo, pig goes oink, something, 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 and like
And
you
you
can't
killed
see.
it.
Yeah, I forgot how it went, but I remember that part specifically. So like, how did you prepare for the pitch competition? We'll start at the regional level first, and then actually just talk about the whole journey from the regional level competition to the national level competition. Because I know the entrepreneurship SIG or special interest group for NESB had coaches, but were there any other resources you used to help you out?
Um, so I'm not gonna lie, they were the SIG coaches all of them were like they cleaned me up right and they whipped me right into shape, not gonna hold you. Cause I'm just a researcher in my opinion. I'm like just a scientist. I didn't, consider myself an entrepreneur yet because I haven't sold it yet. I thought you gotta, sell stuff before you go into that world. But no, they taught me a lot. But other resources that I tapped into outside of the entrepreneur sig was that FAMU FSU RU program. We did an entrepreneur pitch competition with them as well. So that was like the first step. Like that was my first practice run at pitching. That was the first time I pitched like to anybody at in summer of 2023, right? So obviously I had new material to add into my pitch, new like data and I had to actually 3D print some models for the actual pitch competitions and the nationals, but at the regionals, I didn't have any prototypes yet. At the regionals, I was just, doing pitching my research and like telling you guys where I was at. But at the nationals, them entrepreneurs, the coaches from the SIG, they were like, listen, you got a strong presentation and great ideas, but we need to see it. We need some type of prototype. I said, I can't bring the chemical like substance. It's an ink, right? Can't bring the ink to y'all because it's like it's a chemical and I'm flying on the plane. They're not gonna let me bring this. They're gonna like flag me. It's like we need something, make it happen. So I was like, all right, I got in that laboratory. My PI looked at me, I looked at her, I said, what we gonna do? So I ended up finding a 3D printed model of my pitch and like I had to practice that pitch with the coaches. I practiced that pitch with my classmates, with my supervisor, constantly cleaning it up, constantly I had to learn new terminology and new things because like I said, I'm a scientist. That entrepreneur side of things was more, technical. I had to learn some new information. And so my preparation just started off with just a girl doing research to shifting from doing research to presenting that research and now shifting the presentation of that research to learn to incorporating more technical terminology and just learn like shift like you're not shifting but you're like combining science and business and that's like the bulk of being able to combine science and business is one bulk of it. It's like a bulk of it. But the last finishing touches are the most important is that remember, it's a pitch and like and to me it's a show. It's a showcase. Meaning you gotta show your best, send your best man. So like that's me. I'm the best woman. I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you why you should invest in me.
Yeah.
And so that came from even asking you to, hey, listen to me real quick. Because I'm like, I need somebody to help refine my touches, like making sure that I'm not too goofy, but I'm also like speaking to somebody that's not familiar with my science, my technology, right? Making sure that you can understand what I'm saying and I'm not talking above your head. Because let's be real, who likes somebody that draws on and on about nothing we can understand? My professors. So like I'm not trying to be no professor. No, I am, but like I'm not trying to like teach you guys mindlessly. I'm trying to have y'all like follow me, hear me, understand me, and put your money where your mouth is. Invest. So like yeah, that preparation was just tapping into that community I was telling you about, and even you like I don't even know why you said yes, but I'm grateful you said yes. Boy, I think, can you listen to me? Can you listen? Can you
I
help?
have anything else to do. You know what I'm saying? I was there for the pitch competition. So I was like, I might as well help. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, they said you was the best man from our region too. I think that's what happened. They said
Yeah. Yeah.
they
Julius had
you participated.
connected us through that. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Okay.
see, that's me. This is
But
me.
yeah, don't sleep on that like long term purpose. Like don't sleep on Nesby, bro, because like I'm still tight with a lot of people that I met from like other chapters, like to this day, and like one of the people we talk like twice a week about. building on our entrepreneur journeys, our separate entrepreneur journeys. So, but yeah, I'm glad I was able to help. I do remember we spent like 30 minutes talking, and I'm like, all right, want to get something to eat? You continue preparing. You know what I'm saying? And I think you were there for like two. I don't even know how long you were there for. And you're like, all right, I'm back. I'm like, bro, what? What? Where were you? I was in a museum. I want to get something to eat. Like I did a whole bunch of stuff, and all of a sudden you pop back up. But I'm glad I was able to help, and you were able to tap into those resources, and it really helped you with your confidence. Let's see. What's like? Would you do it again?
Would I do it again? Oh,
Or
that's
let's
tough.
say a pitch showcase in general. Let's say you finally get this product market ready somewhere down the line.
If I have my product market ready, ooh, that'd be a blessing, child. But um, what I seen at this pitch showcase for the nationals, and it's like it low key gave me this idea. Like there's this group called Hair Hub, young,
Yeah.
three young ladies. They're pitching a product from a from their team, right? I think I would love to have a component of that, like have a team of people that's like part of the vision and assign them to do the, these three or one, this two or this person. You guys pitch it for me so that I can work on like, the actual science and technical part. Like that'd be something I would low key be interested in, like sending like like having a team of people, right? Part of my entrepreneur product because I feel like the reason they were able to have that team and send this person and that person and showcase their product is because they actually had a physical tangible, like they up and running, they in the market right now in business. And so I feel like if I'm in business, I'm trying to get like them. I'm trying to be the boss. I send the players to the field and I'm the coach. I want to be like them. Like that was cool to me. I was like, hey, y'all, you saw I don't know if you saw that, but they had the marketing, the
Yeah, they
shirt.
had the shirts. I think it was like some pink shirts. I remember they were like bright and vibrant shirts, and they were all sitting together. I didn't know they were there for the showcase. I don't want to assume, but then when they
Right.
all got up and went on stage, I said, "Oh,
They
they came
meant
with a
business.
team. They came with a team."
That I'm trying to get when I seen them at the showcase, I'm like, y'all, sign me up. I want the app, I want the product, I want everything. Like that's a great marketing strategy. Like that was very fun and exciting to see. I want to hopefully like when I have my product market ready, I want a team like that. Like y'all gonna be dripped out eating blue and red. Let's go. Not like I feel like it's gonna be blue. My colors is blue. The red was just for the heart. That was presenting. But yeah, I want that. That's a power. Like two's better than one. Three's better than two. Like keep building that network and that that people in your group. Like that was cool to see. That's what I'll be interested in doing.
I think this is a cool reflection moment because earlier in the interview you mentioned how you had this mindset of just saying, "I'm doing it on my own." Like it's on me. It's on
Yeah.
me. Like, you know what I'm saying? And now you're already building this community. You're slowly building this community of people who want to help you out, like myself and the coaches from the entrepreneurship sig. Like, did you really come to that realization? Like, dang, I was really stubborn, or like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I should have stuck with the team this whole time. Like, I'm not trying to like, throw you under the bus, but like, have you had that realization moment where you're like, dang, if I had a team sooner, it would be much easier, like moving forward with just school, life, career, all that stuff. Did you have that moment?
Um, I did have that moment. I was trying to see if I could pinpoint when it came to fruition. Like, yeah, I did realize I was doing it a little. I think it came into fruition actually, like last year. Not gonna hold you. I know. Oof. I think it came into fruition only because now I'm at a point where I can reflect on my past journey, and I'm like, I feel like I'm at the high of my degree right now at of life right now. Like I'm finally in a higher position, like, thank God. Um, all to him. But I did reflect and see, like, Aliza, you struggle. Even my PI said it. She was like, you struggle the most because you always doing things the hard way. I said, I know, I'm a hard worker. She was like, the goal is to work smarter, not harder. I'm like, how in my head, I'm like, there ain't no other way. This was the best way. This was the only way. No, it wasn't. It was not the only way. It wasn't the best way. It was your way. And now that now that I'm older now, I can see that had I just been a little bit more receptive, or that saying closed mouths don't get fed. Yeah, if I had opened my mouth just a little bit to the right people. Now everybody gonna help you. Now not all help is good help, but like if I had opened my mouth to the right people, accepted the help, and intentionally built this community, I do believe my journey could have been a little bit more smoother. But I'm thankful for all the hurdles that I had to jump over, all the mountains I had to climb because, hey, I wouldn't have never learned. I would, like, you don't know no better because you ain't learned it. So now I know better, and now I'm like very appreciative of life. I heard about NSBE all the way in 2020. My first conference was last year. Not last year.
This
My
past
first
year,
regional conference was in 2024,
2023,
and the national was in
24. Yeah.
2025. That should tell you all about my pig-headedness. I didn't say I didn't. And it's not like some things. Like I did have other barriers preventing me from like tapping into things, but like I'm glad I finally finally bit the bullet and pushed myself in like to do things and be here, be present, be active. Cause you don't know no better. I have friends to this day. They don't see the benefit in going to conferences. They don't see the benefit in organizations. And I was like, dang, I was just like you. I have to be like, hey, friend, think you might actually want to lock in. They be like, no, 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 I can do it this way. I'm like, oh, well, you're gonna have to learn like me. You gonna have to learn. And it was just a beautiful learning experience. So yeah.
Got you. We're gonna close out with a few more questions. So, like off rip, like you seemed a little shocked when you saw you won first place, and they said first place and the People's Choice. I think you won second place for People's Choice, first place. Wait, what was the order?
First place in People's Choice, second
Second
place
place.
in this vote. And yes,
Okay. Well, regardless, you placed. You know what I'm saying? You won some money. Like, how'd you feel? Not only because they did the People's Choice first, and then did the actual like first, second, and third for pitches. Like, how'd you feel when your name was called, when your product was called, and they said, "Come on up to the stage to accept your award."
um, I would say in that moment I was just grateful. I was shocked, but grateful. And like relieved because I had a lot of jitters and nerves going in. I don't know why. I hate the butterflies. I hate the jitters. But when I heard my name, I was like, "Thank you, God. It's over." But it's also like, wow, that's an accomplishment. And who doesn't like feeling accomplished? Like, come on, like that was I was grateful because let me tell you something. We all pre-practice, like, prior to the nationals, you have to do, like, a pre-runs, and we did, like, I think 2 pre-runs, pitches with the contestants, and so at the when I was doing the pre-runs, I was like, "Ah, I got this in the bag, ain't nothing." And then when I actually got there, man, them contestants showed out. They put their best foot. They really did send their best man. Like I was like, "Oh wow, that's something I would buy." I sat there. I sat there for the few pictures that I did see. I was like, "Dang, I would buy your product. I would invest in your product." I was like, "Oh
Yeah,
Lord."
I remember. I remember you were sitting there like, oh, to pulling your phone out, taking a picture of the screen for the QR code and stuff. I was like, okay, you're engaged. I was doing the same thing. You were a contestant. I was just there as just a viewer, watch the competition. But that's still good that you got to see like that fan, not fan, that viewer's perspective as well from the audience. So that's good.
Them girls were amazing. It wasn't just Hair Hub. It was another young lady, Affirm Her. And then there was a few gentlemen that came up with some like technology to help you navigate college campuses. It was another gentleman
Mm-hmm.
that did toys that introduced children to STEM. I work with children in STEM, and like I was like, oh yeah, I text my sister, I say, sis, we need that. Get his information. That's that. You feel me? Like, and he had displays too. I was just so thoroughly like impressed with the competition, and that's a lot coming from me. I'm a if I don't see competition. And when I say I don't see competition, I'm saying like I lock in on me and me only. The only thing that matters is myself. But man, I was seeing them folks. I was like, oh Lord, like black empowerment, black entrepreneurs. I'm so supportive of my community. I was like, man, forget the competition. Let me lock in with y'all. I want the LinkedIn's. I want the product. And I was telling everybody about it. I was like, even at my own region, in my school, I was like, y'all should definitely come to this showcase because like they actually got some really good things that I think y'all be interested in. So like,
And the chapter was showed up deep too. I remember
yeah,
that. Remember when they announced us or announced you, they gave recognition to the chapters like, shoot, they had the loudest support in the room. So I can see why they won fan choice. It was probably like 20 of us in the room. Well, I'm not part of the chapter being on the alumni chapter, but it was like 20 of us there to support
yeah,
you.
yes,
And yeah, it was a good showcase. And a good showing for, people pulling up.
they definitely helped with my jitters. Where I was nervous, but that support, man, energy transfer. I gotta say thank you to my FSU FAMU College of Engineering chapter because y'all did that. They did they big one at that showcase.
Yeah,
Y'all
you
was
said.
loud as well. They up there saying oink 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 at the end. I'm like, y'all ain't
Yeah, yeah.
this.
No, I remember you were like, I studied chemical engineering at the FAMU, FSU, college engineering. You like emphasized both of them, both schools and engineering school. We were like, yeah. Then we stopped. They're like, all right, let her focus. I remember everybody turned, and mind you, to the viewer, we were in the back of the room. We were like in the far like to your right side of the room. But we still had a good view of the stage, but like we were the loudest ones in there. Everybody turned around, and looked at us. I was like, all right, let's lock back in. I was like, shh, 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 shh. Let her win this first, then we get back to cheering. All right. So yeah, that was funny. That was a good
It
time. That
was
was
a
a good
great.
time. But closing out, no, doing your first competition, pitch competition. Would you share any advice to someone? What's your advice you would give to someone who's interested in entrepreneurship or participating in pitch competitions or utilizing their research within entrepreneurship? Like, what's some advice you would give them?
I believe my advice would be in hindsight. I, I still had that small remnants of that mentality, like very very independent, right? So they gave him a assigned coach, and I was only using him because he was my assigned coach, right? But then he himself was like, lock in with this person, this coach, that coach, this coach, that coach. I'm like, no. Why would I do that? Like, you are my assigned coach. These people got their own coaches. I'm not finna talk to everybody and their mama just for my pitch. I'm very like, I'm already going out my way to speak to you. I don't like you. I got it. Like I'm a little stubborn. Like sometimes I don't like overutilizing things. I don't like you know. I like to do it. I'm really like DIY girly. Like unfortunately, sometimes it's gonna get in my. It's like stepping over your own feet sometimes, right? But when my coach said that, I hit up Julius. I was like, "Yo, can you believe this man said that?" Julius was like, "Aliza, lock in. Listen, listen." I'm like, "You believe this?" It's like it may be unorthodox, but if the person who my coach was the last year's winner,
Previous winner, yeah.
it's like if he won and that's what he did, it'd be kind of ignorant not to do it, Lisa. And I was like, okay, maybe I'll do it like two people. And I speak to one person, and then the next person, they was like, go here, go there. I'm like, okay. So what I'm saying to you in short is that my best advice is to tap in and utilize all your resources that are offered to you, and even the ones that ain't offered to you. Always take advantage of every opportunity. The door is gonna be open, walk through them doors. And the doors that ain't open, at least you can do is not let somebody else say no to you. So like if you're pursuing this entrepreneur journey, I think that was a great learning lesson for me. Like take advantage of every resource. Like look, like utilize it, like maximize every opportunity. That would be my piece of advice.
Awesome. It's a great interview. Had some reflective moments. Had some, you know, assurance, moments of assurance, and growth, which is always good. Um, yeah, that's all I can really say. That's the last question I had. Lisa, do you have any closing remarks before we officially close out this episode?
Just that I'm thankful for this interview. Thankful for being a guest on your show. I'm really just like happy to be here, and this was a beautiful moment. Like, I appreciate it. I'm just very appreciative. So thank you again, Rahsaan. Um, and coming from your favorite FAMU FSU College of Engineering, your favorite chapter from Region 3, because I heard you was in the new region. I was like, never forget what home at. Never forget what home.
Oh shoot, I still have my wristband.
Wristband, wristband,
I still
region.
got my wristband. Yeah, yeah. I'm still repping. No, trust
Oh,
me. No, like I literally can't forget the region I was brought up in because not only did I go to school there, but I also got recognized as chapter collegiate chapter president of the year 2023. So like, oh, 2024, my fault. So I can't literally can't. That's like
yeah,
that's attached to me. So I wear this every day until I get a region 2 one. Anyway,
yeah.
that's neither here nor there. But yeah, I'm in region 2 now. So we too hype. Is what we say around here, you know what I mean? Uh
Not gonna be like us, man,
Anyway, it's Nesby Love at the end of the day, but we'll and oh shoot, speaking of region 2, it's in my region next year, in Baltimore, Maryland. You feel me? March 18th to the 22nd. So, what I'm saying, you're gonna see how we get down in region 2. I only been there for a year, but I already see how they get down. They pretty hype. No pun intended up here.
I was gonna say, we'll see, we'll see.
I
We
will say, I will say, we're called the model region, so that should say something. Anyway, let's close.
still trying to represent. All right.
And fun fact, Nesby headquarters is where? In Virginia. Where's Virginia at? In Region 2. What better place?
All right, I give you that. I give you that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Alexandria, Virginia, to be specific. Anyway, we're going way off track. Anyway, Lisa, I appreciate you taking the time to do this interview. This is a month and a half in the making when I initially sent this out. I'm glad we were able to put this together and make this happen. So I hope the viewer is able to get something out of it. So I want to say thank you to you, and thank you to the person watching this. And to the person watching this, if you like this video, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. And that's all I can say for right now. Anyway, we'll see you on the next episode of the Rob Podcast. I am your host, Rahsaan Corbin II. Y'all take it easy.